Have you ever found yourself on the verge of making a decision that seemed like the answer to your prayers, only to feel a sense of unease as you moved forward? What if I told you that the very offer you're about to face may not be what it seems? What if the opportunity that appears to be tailored perfectly to your desires is actually a trap waiting to ensnare you at your most vulnerable moment? My beloved souls, they have been working tirelessly behind the scenes, devising a strategy to entrap you. They know your weaknesses, they understand your desires, and now an offer will be presented to you, one that seems too good to refuse. It will appear to be the perfect solution to your problems, and it will arrive just when you are most susceptible. The truth is, they have been watching, analyzing, and preparing for this moment. The only thing they are counting on is that you won't recognize the trap until it's too late. Before we dive deeper into the great battle ahead, I want to take a moment to thank everyone who has generously supported this mission through Super Thanks. Your donations are a blessing, and they allow us to continue sharing these important messages. Whether you've donated or simply engaged with the content, I am truly grateful for your presence and support. Now, Chosen One, I want to hear from you. If you are ready to face this battle head-on and claim the wisdom that is yours, leave a comment with 999 below. Let's unite in the strength of the Chosen Ones and prepare for the challenges that lie ahead. The war has arrived, and it's time to take your stand. Thank you for being here, and may the light of God guide you in every step you take. Let's begin. God's chosen ones, the day of the great war has arrived. Chosen one, have you ever wondered what it feels like to receive an invitation, knowing it could change the course of your life? Picture this: your name written carefully on elegant stationery, the return address familiar, belonging to someone influential, someone who holds power over the world's course. It's a day like any other when this envelope lands in your hands, a small but significant moment that feels almost surreal. The anticipation grows as you open it, and within you find an invitation, one that sends a jolt through your chest, a heartbeat skipping with uncertainty. This is the moment they have meticulously orchestrated. As you stand there with the paper in your hands, you are faced with a question. Are you ready to discern what's truly in front of you? The invitation, in its alluring simplicity, seems like an opportunity too good to ignore, but it is only a facade. For the foundation of every great deception lies in one thing: unwavering confidence. They have assessed you based on outdated knowledge, still seeing you as you once were, hungry, desperate, and ready to compromise for what seems to be a quick escape. Their belief in your fall is their greatest gamble. Matthew 7:15 tells us, "Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravenous wolves." The deceiver knows how to disguise itself as something desirable, much like a tempting opportunity wrapped in false promises. You stand on the threshold, thinking the door is ready to open, but it's not just the door that awaits. What awaits you is a test of your discernment, a trial of faith. The invitation itself is not the trap. Your reaction to it is the real test. When you're presented with such an offer, the temptation is strong, isn't it? You might be thinking, is this the moment I've been waiting for? But be cautious. It's not a contract you're being asked to sign immediately. It's a challenge, an opportunity for you to participate in the game. The labyrinth of questions they set around you is designed to confuse, to entice, and ultimately to cloud your judgment. Proverbs 4:7 reminds us, "Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding." Wisdom isn't just about accepting what's placed before you. It's about understanding the motives behind the offer, the intention behind the invitation. And yet, the temptation can be overwhelming. How easy it would be to ignore that nagging voice of caution, and walk through the door they've so carefully opened for you. The most successful traps are not hidden, chosen ones. They don't lurk in the shadows. They stand before you, disguised as your deepest desires, your longings. It's as if everything you ever wanted is within reach. And that's exactly how the deceiver works. He presents you with something that looks right, something that aligns with your dreams. But the question is, will you be deceived by what appears to be perfect, or will you see beyond it? 1 Peter 5:8 warns, "Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour." The deceiver is lurking, ever watchful for those who are vulnerable, those who mistake false promises for true blessings. But you, chosen one, are not like the others. You have been prepared for this moment. Can you hear the warning in the stillness? Can you see through the veil? Let's consider the story of Helen Keller, a woman who was once blinded and deaf, but went on to become one of the most powerful voices for human rights. She did not allow the world's assumptions about her limitations to dictate her path. In the same way, you must not let the world's assumptions about who you were yesterday define who you will be tomorrow. The invitation may seem tailor-made for your weaknesses, but you must remember the strength that lies within you. James 1:5 offers us wisdom in such times. "If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him." The path ahead is not one of blind faith. It is one of seeking understanding. You have the ability to ask, to seek, and to find the truth hidden beneath the surface. But are you willing to go deeper, to question what is being offered, and to discern the hidden dangers? Think of Abraham Lincoln, who faced countless challenges and temptations, yet never gave in to the deceit of political power. He stayed true to his principles, even when others tried to manipulate him. Like Lincoln, you must remain steadfast, knowing that the greatest battles are often fought not on the battlefield, but within the mind and heart. The invitation you hold is not what it seems. It is designed to draw you in, to lead you down a path that feels perfect, harmonious with your desires. But here's the question, chosen one. Will you allow the deceiver to take advantage of your longing? Or will you stand firm in the knowledge that what is truly meant for you will not come with hidden strings attached? Remember, as 2 Corinthians 11:14 tells us, "And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light." The deceiver comes as an angel of light, offering you something that feels so right, yet it is filled with conditions. Only with clarity, faith, and the wisdom of the Lord can you see the truth. Chosen one, what if everything about you, the public persona you project, your private struggles, your hopes, even your fears, was already analyzed by someone else with precision and intent? This is not mere speculation. It is the reality that awaits you when the offer arrives. The moment this offer lands in your hands, you may feel like it was meant for you alone. But remember, chosen one, nothing about this is random. It is designed specifically to target your vulnerabilities. Have you ever wondered how the world seems to align just perfectly when you're facing a struggle, offering you what you think you want? That's no coincidence. The deception is planned with the accuracy of a master strategist. Every detail of your social media accounts, your public comments, your financial situation, and even your personal relationships has been carefully monitored. Every step you've taken has been noted, analyzed, and anticipated. Matthew 4:8-9 reminds us, "Again, the devil took him to a very high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their splendor. 'All this I will give you,' he said, 'if you will bow down and worship me.'" Just like this temptation offered to Jesus, the deceiver knows your weaknesses and offers you the world in exchange for your soul. The offer may seem harmless, but it is built on the careful knowledge of what you need and desire the most. If you value autonomy and freedom, they will make sure to emphasize these qualities, all while subtly embedding restrictions in the fine print. If recognition is your drive, they will promise fame and acknowledgement, while ensuring that your success serves to elevate their own status above yours. And if financial security is your primary concern, they will present compensation as the key to resolving your struggles, while quietly claiming ownership of everything you create. Does this sound familiar to you, chosen one? Have you ever received an offer that seemed like the perfect solution to all your problems, only to realize too late that there were strings attached? 1 Timothy 6:9-10 warns, "Those who want to get rich fall into temptation and a trap, and into many foolish and harmful desires that plunge people into ruin and destruction. For the love of money is the root of all evil." The deceiver uses the very things you value to draw you in, to create a sense of urgency and need. But what happens when you realize that what you thought was an opportunity is actually a trap? How will you respond when you uncover the truth? This invitation is crafted to appeal to your ego, chosen one. They know your worth, and they will flatter you with promises of greatness and recognition. But have you ever wondered why something so perfect feels too good to be true? The offer will be presented as your due, as something you deserve, as a reflection of your exceptional abilities. But understand this: the moment you accept, you begin to lose control. The transfer of power doesn't happen all at once. It's gradual, subtle, and almost imperceptible. Through small concessions and compromises, they begin to tighten their grip without you even realizing it. Think about Steve Jobs, a man whose creative genius changed the world. Jobs was known for his uncompromising vision and desire to maintain control over his work, but even he faced offers that tested his principles. Offers that seemed perfect on the surface, but would have compromised his freedom and ownership. How did he navigate these temptations? He understood that true power comes from maintaining control over one's work, not from allowing others to take credit for your achievements. Proverbs 16:25 states, "There is a way that appears to be right, but in the end it leads to death." When you are faced with an offer that promises everything you desire, it's easy to think it's the path you've been waiting for. But is it truly right for you, chosen one? Or is it a road that leads to your downfall? The world will present many such paths, but the truth lies not in the outward appearance, but in the hidden intentions beneath the surface. Oprah Winfrey once shared how she was faced with many such offers throughout her career, each promising success, fame, and fortune. But she recognized early on that her true power lay in her ability to maintain her voice, her identity, and her vision. Like Oprah, you too must be aware of the hidden costs behind seemingly generous offers. Are you willing to lose yourself in exchange for temporary gains? The subtle transfer of power, the small compromises, this is where the danger lies. They will not demand everything from you at once, chosen one. Instead, they will make small requests, ones you'll deem insignificant. But over time, these minor shifts will lead you further down a path from which it will be difficult to return. Are you prepared to resist the temptation of accepting an offer that seems to fulfill your every desire, but ultimately costs you your freedom? Romans 12:2 encourages us, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." You must not allow the world's offers to shape who you are. Stand firm in your truth, in your faith, and in the wisdom that comes from God. The choice, chosen one, is yours. Will you succumb to the gradual enticements of the deceiver, or will you stay true to the path that God has set for you? Chosen one, have you ever been offered something that seemed perfect, something that promised to solve all your problems and give you the recognition you've always desired? But have you ever stopped to wonder what the true cost of this offer really is? What if the price of that opportunity is far higher than you ever expected? More than just a signature on a piece of paper, more than just a deal on the table. The true cost, chosen one, lies in your voice, your independence, and the very direction of your life. They have studied you in ways you might not even realize, not just your weaknesses, but your strengths. They know what drives you, what you yearn for, and what makes you stand out. But it's not just your vulnerabilities that they seek to exploit. It's your very essence, the qualities that make you a force to be reckoned with. These are the traits they fear most. They fear your autonomy, your originality, and your ability to influence others. What they really want is not to destroy these aspects of you. They want to control them, to reshape them, to bend them to serve their own agenda. 1 Peter 5:8 reminds us, "Be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy the devil prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour." The enemy is subtle and precise in its approach. It understands your inner desires and exploits them for its own gain. What might seem like an opportunity for growth or a solution to your current struggles is, in fact, a calculated move to strip you of your autonomy and make you an instrument of someone else's will. How can you discern the truth hidden within the offer? When the offer is presented, it will be framed as a clear-cut choice. You'll be told that you have only two options: accept the generous offer, step forward into your future, and leave your current life behind, or decline. Stay where you are and risk falling into obscurity. They will create this binary illusion with great care, presenting the choice as if it's the only logical option. The language used will emphasize that not taking the offer means stagnation and irrelevance. Move forward or be left behind, they will tell you. Progress or stay the same. It will sound reasonable. It will seem like the only rational choice. But is this really the only choice? Chosen one. Does it seem like a decision that allows for no nuance, no gray area? In reality, this false dichotomy is a carefully crafted manipulation. Both options actually serve their interests equally. If you accept, you fall under their control. They gain access to your energy, your creativity, your potential. All of it becomes a resource for them. But if you refuse, your rejection will serve another purpose, justifying their next steps. They will use your refusal as evidence of your inability to see the big picture, as proof that you are unreasonable and ungrateful. In this way, you will have fallen into their trap, no matter what decision you make. Matthew 7:13-14 says, "Enter through the narrow gate. For wide is the gate, and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But small is the gate, and narrow the road that leads to life, and only a few find it." When you're faced with an offer like this, it's easy to think that the broad path, accepting what's presented to you, is the way to go. It seems logical, simple, and promising. But could it be that the true path to fulfillment and growth lies in rejecting what seems to be the obvious choice, chosen one? Could it be that the narrow road is the one that leads to true freedom? The decision will be presented as a no-brainer. The examples they provide will showcase the success stories of those who said yes, who accepted the offer and moved forward. But have you ever wondered about the stories of those who said no, chosen one? The ones who stood firm in their beliefs, who resisted the temptation to take the easy route. What happens when you make the choice to reject the path that's being presented to you? Luke 6:22-23 encourages us. "Blessed are you when people hate you, when they exclude you and insult you and reject your name as evil because of the Son of Man. Rejoice in that day and leap for joy, because great is your reward in heaven." Rejection, chosen one, is not always a sign of failure. It can be a sign of strength. It can be a sign that you are standing firm in your truth, even when the world pressures you to conform. Your refusal may be seen as unreasonable in their eyes, but in reality, it may be the most powerful decision you make. Think about Martin Luther King Jr., a man who could have taken the easy path and accepted the status quo, but instead chose to reject it. He could have compromised his values for the sake of peace and progress, but he did not. King was rejected by many, vilified by those in power, but his refusal to conform led to the greatest changes in American history. What if he had said yes to the easy path? Would we have seen the civil rights movement unfold as it did? Your refusal, chosen one, will not be seen as a failure in God's eyes. Remember Romans 8:28, which tells us, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." The world may not understand your choice, but God does. He sees the bigger picture. Your decision to stand firm, to reject the path that leads to compromise, will align you with God's greater plan for your life. Consider the story of J.K. Rowling, who faced multiple rejections before her book Harry Potter was finally published. She was offered many opportunities that would have limited her creative control, but she stood her ground. She refused to let others dictate her story, and in doing so, created a legacy that has touched millions. Had she accepted the easier path, the world would have lost out on one of the most beloved stories of our time. Chosen one, have you ever noticed how, when you're uncertain about an offer, it feels like you're being led to a place you've never been before, a place where everything looks promising, where every argument in your mind seems to have an answer? But what if I told you that the very uncertainty you feel, the hesitation, the doubts, the reluctance, isn't an obstacle to their plan, but an integral part of it? Chosen one, this is no coincidence. Your resistance has already been factored into the equation, and they are prepared for it, waiting for you to make your move. The truth is, the most insidious traps are the ones that offer you the illusion of escape. The offer that seems to present you with a way out, a solution to your troubles, is often the one that is most carefully constructed to pull you deeper into a web of control. It's a psychological game that preys on your doubts, your insecurities, and your fears. You might believe that by questioning the offer, you are gaining the upper hand. But in reality, every question, every hesitation you express has already been anticipated. You may feel that you are pushing back, that you are standing your ground. But chosen one, have you considered that every doubt you voice is simply a variable they've planned for? Your inquiries, your worries, your need for reassurances, they are all part of the decision tree they have crafted specifically for people like you. The customer service representative you speak to is not just some random person. No, they are part of a finely tuned machine, expertly trained to respond to your exact objections with rehearsed answers. Every question you ask, every concern you raise has been anticipated, scripted, and rehearsed. Isaiah 5:20 warns, "Woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness for light and light for darkness, who put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter." In the same way, chosen one, you are being presented with an offer that looks like a solution to your problems, but it is actually the dark path disguised as light. Every answer they give you may seem spontaneous, but in truth, it's a well-calculated response meant to quell your doubts and move you closer to acceptance. Do you see how the answers you receive might just be a trap, specifically designed to pull you deeper into their game? Your reluctance is not something they will dismiss, it's something they've been waiting for. They've already prepared for it, ensuring that their response will address your concerns, no matter how unique or specific. And as you start to ask more questions, they'll be ready, providing you with the reassurances you need to feel comfortable. The trap is laid so well that it feels like you're in control, that you are making decisions of your own. But in reality, They are simply steering you toward a predetermined outcome, using your own hesitation against you. Proverbs 14:15 tells us, "The simple believe anything, but the prudent give thought to their steps." The prudent do not merely accept things at face value. They know that if something seems too good to be true, it likely is. But how do you resist when every answer you receive seems perfectly crafted to address your concerns? How do you stay alert when the trap is so skillfully disguised? Let me ask you this. How many times have you encountered someone who seemed to know exactly what to say, when to say it, and how to make you feel at ease? It's as though they are always prepared for your concerns, always one step ahead of you. This is not coincidence, chosen one. It's part of a carefully engineered strategy to control the narrative. Your doubts, your questions, your reluctance are all part of a pattern they know well, and they will respond with ease, making it seem like they understand you and your needs better than anyone else. In a world of uncertainty, the deceiver knows that certainty is a powerful tool, and so the answers you receive are crafted to provide that sense of certainty. You might feel like you're in control, making logical choices and asking the right questions. But remember this, the deceiver is not trying to trick you with force, but with the subtlety of familiarity. They give you the illusion of choice, but every answer they provide is designed to lead you toward one inevitable conclusion. Romans 16:18 warns, "For such people are not serving our Lord Christ, but their own appetites. By smooth talk and flattery, they deceive the minds of naive people." This is the deception, chosen one. Smooth talk, flattering answers, and reassurances that seem genuine, but are carefully designed to lead you further down a path of compromise and manipulation. The deceiver does not need to force you into submission. No, the deceiver is content to guide you gently, leading you with what feels like perfect understanding and alignment with your desires. Have you ever thought about the story of Mahatma Gandhi? He was presented with countless offers that could have given him more power, more influence, but he chose to reject them in favor of standing firm in his principles. Gandhi understood that true strength lies not in accepting what's offered, but in maintaining one's integrity, even when the world seems to be offering the perfect solution. His refusal to compromise became a cornerstone of his leadership. Chosen. 1. Will you be able to do the same when faced with an offer that seems too perfect to refuse? Matthew 4:10 reminds us, Jesus said to him, "Away from me, Satan, for it is written, worship the Lord your God and serve him only." In the face of temptation, Jesus did not entertain the offer or negotiate the terms. He resisted. He stood firm in his beliefs, understanding that what was offered was not worth losing his integrity for. Similarly, chosen one, you must resist the subtle allure of a solution that comes with hidden strings attached. The offer you face is not a gift. It is a test of your faith and your wisdom. Chosen one, the truth is that the world around you has been carefully designed to give you the illusion of choice. Every limitation placed on you is crafted not to stop your progress, but to subtly direct it. Each constraint is engineered to restrict your movement while maintaining the illusion that you are still in control, that you are still making independent decisions. The goal is to lead you toward a conclusion they've already predetermined, all while allowing you to believe that the choices you make are your own. Have you ever felt that nagging sensation that something was too good to be true, yet couldn't quite pinpoint what was wrong? The path ahead, while seemingly open and full of possibilities, may actually be narrowing, directing you toward a specific outcome. The very components that appear to grant you freedom are the ones that restrict you the most. How often do we believe we are in control when, in fact, we are just being steered in the direction that benefits someone else? Proverbs 14:12 says, "There is a way that seems right to a man, but in the end it leads to death." This passage speaks directly to the trap of false freedom. Chosen one. The path may seem wide open, but the truth is that it is narrowing with each decision you make. These choices that appear to be yours are actually being guided by unseen hands, orchestrating your every move. What will you do when you realize that your so-called freedom was always an illusion? This approach, the one that appears to offer you power and control, is not the work of a single person. It's not the well-meaning intermediary whose name is casually mentioned in emails, nor the charismatic representative who speaks of possibilities with passion and sincerity. These are simply conduits, often unwitting, passing along decisions made in distant rooms by individuals you've never met and never will. These intermediaries may appear to be the ones making the decisions, but the true architects of this plan are far more powerful and distant than you could ever imagine. Ephesians 6:12 tells us, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms." The deceivers pulling the strings are not always visible to you, chosen one. They do not sit before you and speak their terms directly. Instead, they work behind the scenes, determining goals, allocating resources, and measuring results in ways that you cannot perceive. It is these hidden architects who see your potential more clearly than you do. They are aware of the value you hold, of the influence you could wield, but they are not afraid of your failure. What they fear is your success. If you succeed on your own, without their control, without their influence. That is the true threat, and it's something they are working tirelessly to prevent. Think about the story of Nikola Tesla, a brilliant inventor whose ideas changed the world. He was never afraid of failure, but the establishment at the time worked hard to control his innovations, keeping his potential under wraps because they feared the power of his independence. Tesla's ability to think beyond the boundaries set by others, his refusal to conform to conventional wisdom, was seen as a threat to the status quo. What if Tesla had surrendered to the pressure to play by the rules and accepted the terms offered by the powers that be? Would we have the same world we live in today? The truth, chosen one, is that they do not want to destroy the qualities that make you valuable. They want to absorb those qualities into their own system, to channel your energy and authenticity to support their agenda. They want to neutralize the threat you represent by transforming you into an asset, someone who works for them, someone whose influence and talent are used for their benefit, not for your own. The more genuine and capable you are, the more they want to control you. Matthew 10:16 warns, "I am sending you out like sheep among wolves. Therefore, be as shrewd as snakes and as innocent as doves." You, chosen one, must be shrewd in these times. You must recognize the subtle ways in which your energy is being channeled, the ways in which your potential is being absorbed and redirected. How will you protect your authenticity and your independence in a world that seeks to use you as an asset? The ultimate goal is not to destroy you, chosen one. No, it's far more insidious. The goal is to redirect your power, to harness your potential for their own purposes, and to make sure you never realize the full extent of what you could achieve on your own. They want to reshape you, to make you part of their system, without you ever fully recognizing the transformation happening within you. Romans 12:2 encourages us, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." The world will always offer you opportunities that appear to be a way forward, but they come with strings attached. They come with the price of your independence, your voice, and your freedom. The key is to resist the pull of conformity, to renew your mind in truth, and to recognize when your potential is being redirected toward something that does not serve you. Chosen one, why do we often find ourselves drawn to opportunities that seem perfect on the surface, yet leave us wondering about the hidden cost? Chosen one, the truth is that the more they offer, the more it reveals their fear of what you could become if you retain your independence. The quality and generosity of the offer are true indicators of how much they fear your potential. The more resources they invest in obtaining your compliance, the more they stand to lose if you remain beyond their sphere of influence. But what if the path ahead isn't really as open as it seems? What if the illusion of choice is a carefully constructed trap to make you feel as though you have control when, in reality, you are being guided down a predetermined path? This is not a simple business transaction. It's a strategy designed for self-control. In the beginning, the agent's tone will be affable, friendly, even warm. But when initial enthusiasm doesn't secure the quick commitment they want, the pressure will increase. You'll begin to hear that the window of opportunity is closing, or that others are expressing serious interest. These aren't coincidences. These are deliberate tactics designed to manipulate your response. Have you ever wondered how you've ended up feeling rushed into a decision that seemed to take you by surprise? Proverbs 3:5-6 tells us, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight." When we feel rushed, it's tempting to trust our own understanding of the situation. But when you're under pressure, chosen one, it's crucial to remember that true wisdom comes from God, not from acting impulsively. In those moments of pressure, can you take a step back and trust his guidance instead of rushing to make a decision? The pressure tactics will only increase, chosen one. First, you'll feel the need to decide quickly. Then, they'll escalate the urgency. "We need your answer by Friday," they'll say. "After all the special arrangements we've made for you, how can you say no?" The pressure to make a decision from a place of guilt, fear, and urgency is designed to manipulate your emotions. Have you ever made a decision just to avoid feeling guilty, or because you feared missing out? Isaiah 55:8-9 reminds us, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." The world will try to create urgency, pushing you to make decisions quickly. But God's ways are not about rushing, they are about guiding you through wisdom and clarity. When you feel overwhelmed, chosen one, will you rely on the world's pressure, or will you seek God's higher ways? These tactics are not random. They are part of a strategy to induce chaos and force you into making decisions you haven't fully thought through. When people are under pressure, they tend to rely on their instincts, their emotional responses, and the path that presents the least resistance. This is not a negotiation. It's an ambush designed to manipulate your emotional state. Have you ever made a decision you regretted because it was rushed or because you felt emotionally manipulated? Romans 12:2 warns, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will." The world's pressure to decide quickly is a pattern designed to trap you, but the transformation you need comes from renewing your mind and testing each decision against God's truth. Will you allow yourself to be transformed by his wisdom, or will you give in to the world's pressure? Look at the story of Warren Buffett, one of the most successful investors of all time. Early in his career, he was constantly faced with opportunities that seemed urgent, promising massive returns. But instead of giving into the pressure, Buffett always took his time, carefully analyzing each opportunity with a calm, rational mind. His ability to resist the emotional rush and stay patient allowed him to make decisions that were truly beneficial in the long run. Chosen one, do you have the wisdom to resist the pressure and wait for the right moment, like Buffett? Maya Angelou, too, faced numerous pressures in her life, particularly in her early career. She was offered many deals that seemed to promise fame and success, but Angelou always refused to compromise her voice and authenticity for quick recognition. Her decision to stand firm in her principles, even in the face of immense pressure, led her to become one of the most influential voices of her time. Chosen one, when faced with the pressure to conform, will you follow Maya Angelou's example and stand firm in your truth? As the pressure intensifies, you may be asked to make a choice that seems impossible to resist. But remember, chosen one, these tactics are designed to cloud your judgment and create emotional turmoil. The decision may seem urgent, but in reality, it's just another carefully crafted attempt to manipulate you into compliance. Matthew 7:24-25 tells us, "Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house, yet it did not fall, because it had its foundation on the rock." Your decisions must be built on the solid foundation of wisdom, not on the shifting sands of emotional manipulation. Will you stand firm, or will you be swept away by the tide of urgency? Chosen one, have you ever found yourself making a decision in the heat of the moment, driven by nerves, fear, or even a false sense of flattery? What if I told you that those feelings, nervousness, terror, desperation, or even excitement, are not truly your genuine reactions, but rather emotional triggers that have been strategically applied to manipulate you? Chosen one, people do not fall into traps because they are blind. They fall because they panic. It's when emotions are stirred, especially in moments of pressure, that the trap begins to take hold. How many times have you found yourself acting in a way that felt impulsive, only to regret it later? These emotional reactions are the signs, the warning indicators that should not be ignored. They signal that something is amiss, that the situation is being carefully orchestrated to push you into a decision without the time or space to think clearly. The real question is, are you aware of these emotional triggers, and are you able to recognize them before they dictate your actions? Proverbs 4:23 tells us, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." The heart, chosen one, is the center of your emotional responses, and it is also where the deceiver seeks to strike. Emotional reactions, whether they come in the form of panic, fear, or excitement, can cloud your judgment, making it difficult to see the truth beneath the surface. But God calls you to guard your heart, to take a step back and examine why you're feeling the way you do. Are these emotions genuine, or are they the result of subtle manipulation? When you feel yourself getting emotionally reactive, whether you are terrified, desperate, or flattered, these are the moments when you need to pause and reflect. These feelings are not your true response to the opportunity in front of you. They are responses that have been skillfully generated by external pressure. The real question is, will you allow these feelings to guide your decisions, or will you take control of your emotions and seek clarity before acting? James 1:19-20 advises, "My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry, because human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires." This verse reminds us that emotional reactions, especially anger or anxiety, do not lead us to righteous decisions. When you feel your emotions intensifying, it's a sign that your mind is not clear. It's in these moments that you must slow down, take a step back, and listen to yourself, to God, and to your intuition. Consider the story of Abraham Lincoln, who faced immense pressure during his presidency, especially during the Civil War. The weight of the nation's future and the lives of countless individuals rested on his shoulders, yet he was able to remain calm under immense stress. Lincoln understood that emotional reactions, driven by panic or fear, would cloud his judgment. He trusted in careful deliberation and sought counsel before making decisions. even when it seemed like time was running out. Chosen one. Can you adopt the same level of calm and wisdom in your own moments of pressure? Nelson Mandela also faced overwhelming pressure during his struggle for justice in South Africa. At times, the urgency and emotional intensity of the situation could have led him to act impulsively, but he chose to remain steadfast in his principles. His ability to manage his emotional responses, even in the most difficult of circumstances, helped him guide his country toward peace and reconciliation. Like Mandela, you too can choose to recognize when your emotions are being manipulated and use that awareness to stay grounded in your values. The real key is this: emotional responses such as panic or desperation are not natural reactions to an opportunity. They are reactions that have been intentionally triggered to lead you astray. When you feel yourself becoming emotionally charged, it's time to step back and evaluate. Ask yourself, is this decision being made from a place of fear or excitement? Am I being manipulated into a choice I haven't fully considered? Psalm 46:10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." In the stillness, chosen one, you will find clarity. It's when you pause, remove the pressure, and reflect on your emotions that you will see the truth behind the offer. Chosen one, what may appear to be a straightforward offer often contains hidden traps that only reveal themselves once you've already started to engage. This is the reality of the system that seeks to control you, not through overt restrictions, but through subtle, hidden obligations that are buried beneath layers of complexity and legal jargon. At first, it may seem like an opportunity, but in truth, it's a carefully designed mechanism for acquisition, not collaboration. The initial document presented to you will likely seem negotiable. The terms are clear, and you can amend certain aspects. But this is just the visible part of the agreement. The real contract, the one that governs the partnership, is buried in the fine print, hidden within legal language meant to obscure its true meaning. These hidden terms, when revealed, will show the control they have over you and your future. The first agreement may seem like a gift, but the second is a binding contract that sets the terms of your subjugation. Matthew 5:37 warns, "Let your yes be yes and your no be no. Anything beyond this comes from the evil one." When you agree to something that feels too good to be true, are you saying yes out of genuine conviction, or are you being manipulated into it? The initial offer may seem like a step forward, but the hidden terms will govern every aspect of your life from that point forward. The real control is not in the obvious clauses. It's in the implied duties that will quietly expand until your autonomy is gone. The hidden obligations include restrictions you would never consciously agree to, perpetual limitations that stretch far beyond the scope of the project at hand, sweeping claims on your future work, and unilateral authority for them to modify the terms without your consent. Severe penalties for withdrawal and mandatory arbitration clauses are designed to keep you locked in. These clauses, presented as standard practice, will slowly transform into unbreakable duties, making exit practically impossible. Have you ever been caught in a situation where you felt trapped, unable to escape because the terms kept changing or penalties were too great? Proverbs 22:7 states, "The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is slave to the lender." When you accept the offer, it may seem like a mutually beneficial partnership, but the true nature of the relationship is one of control. They position themselves as the lender, and you, chosen one, as the borrower, shackled by terms that extend far beyond the initial agreement. At first, you may feel like you're in control, but the more you engage, the more you realize the system was designed to extract from you and return as little as possible in return. This is not about a fair exchange, chosen one. It's about acquisition. What starts as a collaboration morphs into a series of obligations that gradually erode your autonomy. The most dangerous aspects of the agreement are not those that are explicitly forbidden, but the ones that are implicitly normalized, those that slowly chip away at your freedom until you're left with no real choices at all. Do you recognize how this subtle loss of autonomy might begin to take hold in your own life? When you don't immediately cooperate, Chosen One, the reaction from those behind the scenes shifts. They expected an eager response or predictable negotiations, but your reluctance disrupts their carefully laid plans. The change in communication will be subtle at first. Longer response times, a slight increase in formality, and a noticeable decrease in the warmth you once received. These are not emotional responses. They are tactical adjustments made to regain control of the situation. Romans 12:21 tells us, "Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good." When you refuse to be swept along with the current of manipulation, your stance becomes a challenge to their system. Your independence threatens their model, and their reaction will be one of measured retaliation. This shift is not always immediately obvious. It rarely announces itself in the form of direct confrontation. Instead, it comes through proxies, subtle acts of isolation, whispered rumors, and opportunities that once seemed open but suddenly close. Can you recognize when subtle actions are being used to force you back into the system they have created? Nelson Mandela faced many such challenges in his fight against apartheid. Throughout his life, he was presented with opportunities that seemed to offer him advancement, but often these opportunities were merely traps meant to contain his power and control his influence. When he resisted, his opposition became more subtle, his reputation was attacked, opportunities were withheld, and pressure was applied in indirect ways. Yet Mandela's ability to remain steadfast in his principles and challenge the system ultimately led to his success. His journey teaches us that standing firm in our values, even when the stakes are high, can break the chains of oppression. Similarly, Malala Yousafzai was faced with systemic pressures throughout her advocacy for girls' education. She was initially offered solutions that seemed to promise a way forward, but came with strings attached, strings that would silence her voice and limit her reach. When she rejected these offers and stood firm in her belief in education, the systems in place turned against her. Her refusal to conform became a beacon for others to stand up against oppressive systems, showing us that true strength often comes from resisting control, even when faced with enormous obstacles. Your refusal to comply, Chosen One, is not simply seen as a rejection of an offer. It is a direct challenge to the system that seeks to control. The reaction from those behind the scenes may seem like an attempt to withdraw, to let you go, but in reality, it is just a recalibration of their strategy. They will now treat you not as a potential asset, but as a liability. You will become the focus of their efforts to protect their model, and your every move will be scrutinized. The retaliation may not be overt. It could come in the form of subtle professional isolation, colleagues distancing themselves, opportunities drying up, and rumors beginning to circulate. Have you ever experienced a moment where doors seemed to close for no clear reason, or when invitations that once came freely were suddenly withdrawn? These are not random events. They are part of a larger coordinated effort to exert control over you. Isaiah 54:17 reminds us, "No weapon forged against you will prevail, and you will refute every tongue that accuses you." This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and this is their vindication from me, declares the Lord. The weapons they use against you, whether in the form of rumors, isolation, or denied opportunities, are temporary. When you stand firm in your truth, these tactics will lose their power. The more you resist the pressure to conform, the more you expose the flaws in their system. The key, Chosen One, is to recognize that the intense reactions they unleash in response to your independence are a measure of just how dangerous your autonomy is to them. The system they have built is fragile, dependent on secrecy, cooperation, and control. The more you challenge it, the more you expose its vulnerabilities. Their harsh response to your defiance reveals the true nature of their weakness. When you refuse to be manipulated, you become the agent of their undoing, turning their own tactics back on them. Chosen one, every system built on control will eventually collapse under its own weight. The more energy spent on maintaining compliance, the less energy there is for growth, creativity, and genuine value creation. The more resources they invest in suppressing alternatives, the fewer they can dedicate to improving what truly matters. And while this collapse doesn't happen all at once, it starts with small cracks, marginal defections, minor exposures, and isolated concerns that gradually snowball into serious problems. Your decision to stand firm, to walk away from what seems like a golden opportunity, becomes the first visible fracture in a system that appeared impenetrable. Have you ever considered how your rejection could ripple outward, inspiring others to question the system that holds them captive? When you walk away without being broken, others will take notice. Your action becomes a demonstration of strength, an invitation for others to see that there is more to life than complying with a system that seeks to control them. Matthew 5:14-16 reminds us, "You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden, neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." Chosen one, your light shines brightly when you make a decision to walk away from what doesn't serve your true self. By rejecting the system, you not only light your own path, but also show others the way to freedom. Are you ready to let your light shine, knowing that it might lead others to the courage they need to do the same? After your decision, you may feel moments of solitude, confusion, and even brief difficulty. But let me reassure you, these feelings are not a sign of failure. They are the confirmation that your decision was right. You have demonstrated that your integrity is non-negotiable. This is the beginning of a profound transformation, not just in your external circumstances, but within yourself. Your rejection of what was offered has changed the way you engage with the world. It's the first step toward accessing opportunities that align with your true purpose. Psalm 27:1 tells us, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid?" Your decision to stand firm is not just about rejecting an offer. It's about embracing God's guidance, even in moments of uncertainty. Are you ready to stand firm in your faith, knowing that with God as your guide, you are equipped to overcome any challenge? As time unfolds, new opportunities will begin to present themselves, ones that would have been impossible if you had accepted the initial offer. These opportunities come from places that are not controlled by traditional gatekeepers. Romans 8:28 reminds us, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." Your decision to walk away, to reject the false security that was offered, is part of God's plan for you, leading you to a deeper, more fulfilling path. Consider Ruth Bader Ginsburg, a woman who faced considerable adversity throughout her career, especially as one of the first women to attend and graduate from Harvard Law School. She was offered many compromises along the way, yet she refused to settle for a system that sought to diminish her voice. Ginsburg's decision to stand firm against the status quo not only changed her life, but helped pave the way for gender equality in the legal system. Chosen one, what if your rejection of control, just like Ginsburg's, leads to a future where you shape the world on your own terms? Walt Disney also faced rejection and challenges when he tried to bring his ideas to life. Disney was told that his ideas lacked creativity and vision, but he refused to be swayed. He created something that didn't just entertain the world, it revolutionized entertainment. Disney's story shows us that by rejecting the limitations others tried to place on him, He was able to build an empire that transformed generations. What could you create if you, like Disney, stood firm in your vision and rejected the offers that sought to confine your potential? Opportunities will flow to you now, chosen one, ones that you would never have had access to had you stayed within the traditional systems that sought to control you. The doors that open will be ones you can walk through with true freedom, knowing that they are the result of your refusal to comply with the status quo. This is not about abstract rewards for moral purity. It is the real outcome of acting outside of trapped systems. Are you ready to embrace the networks, the resources, and the platforms that are now available to you? This shift is not just about finding new opportunities. It's about your transformation from a passive participant in someone else's game to an active creator of your own future. As you grow into this new role, you will begin to see opportunities that align with your true values and goals. Isaiah 40:31 reassures us, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." Chosen one, you will find the strength to soar as you embrace your new path, one that was only made possible through your rejection of what others tried to impose on you. In the end, chosen one, you're not simply walking away from an opportunity. You are choosing a new reality where your independence, your authenticity, and your voice are the greatest assets you possess. The sacrifices you make now will be more than worth it, as they lay the foundation for a future that is uniquely yours. The isolation you may have felt at first will transform into the freedom to curate your own path. What appeared to be a rejection was, in fact, your selection for something greater. The future is yours to shape. Will you embrace the possibilities that lie ahead, knowing that your rejection was the first step toward true freedom? The choice is yours. Beloved, chosen one, as we come to the close of this discussion, we've explored how the chosen ones are not only called to stand firm in the face of external challenges, but also to recognize the internal strength that God has gifted them. The day of the Great War has indeed arrived, and it is a battle of both faith and resilience. This war is not just against external forces, it's also a spiritual battle where each of you is called to recognize your worth, your purpose, and your divine authority. The path forward may seem uncertain, but it is through your faith and determination that you will emerge victorious, knowing that the power of the Almighty is always by your side. I want to take this moment to sincerely thank each and every one of you for taking the time to engage with this message. Your willingness to listen, reflect, and walk this journey together speaks volumes about the strength and dedication that lies within you. Whether you've been inspired, challenged, or simply found comfort in these words, I am truly grateful for your presence. If you feel led to support this mission and the work we do here, I invite you to consider donating through Super Thanks. Your contributions help us continue spreading these messages and reaching more souls who need to hear them. However, please know that whether you choose to donate or not, your presence and participation are invaluable, and I'm so deeply thankful for all of you. As we close, I pray that God's blessings overflow in your life. May you find strength in moments of struggle, peace in moments of doubt, and clarity in moments of confusion. Remember, you are chosen. No matter the battles that lie ahead, you're never alone. May God continue to guide you, protect you, and empower you to walk the path He has set before you. With heartfelt gratitude and blessings, may your journey be filled with light, love, and unwavering faith. Thank you, chosen ones.